Good evening, everyone, or better yet, good morning, everybody. Welcome to a late version of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform we discuss everyday issues where we try to reach logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Okay. I also need to let everybody know that the subscriber mode has been enabled. What does that mean? That means that if you are not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you need to subscribe to the channel. I see we already got some activity. Good evening, or in this case, good morning, Donna Mondo. Thank you very much for stopping by. So, as always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel, whether it be from the very beginning or just recently. I really appreciate all the love and all the support that you've given me. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. And I want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to either catch it live or catch it on the playback. Now, I have to admit, this was not planned. This is not a planned stream. Good. Hello, Gigi. Thank you very much for stopping by. Okay. Now, this is got to be like, I think, like the latest I have ever did a stream. But you know what? This is something that could not wait. Okay. And I'm going to be discussing the topic later, in a few minutes. Okay. Um, I already pinned the link in the chat should anyone wishes to join the panel. Now, before we get into the topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Okay. One thing that those of us who are municipal employees, we have to bear in mind, okay, that when it comes to free speech, whether it be on YouTube, TikTok, or any type of social media, we have to be mindful that there are certain guidelines that we have to follow, okay? Among those is, of course, we cannot share on social media any confidential information regarding the individuals that we service or any confidential information, period. Okay. Also, we have to be mindful that we cannot say anything that will put the agency that we're employed with in a negative light, even if we perceive it to be true. Okay. Um, there's certain guidelines that we do have to follow. Now, I don't know if any of you remember, but my first live calling show, it had to do with the subject is the censorship on YouTube. Okay. Now, it's not that we have we're under censorship when you are a whether it be a state employee, a county employee, a federal employee, or a municipal employee. However, when it comes to social media, there's certain things that we need to be mindful of. We need to be mindful of our words, and of course, there's certain limitations as far as free speech is concerned. For example, the classic, you can yell fire and cry the movie theater if there's no fire. Okay, that can cause people to get hurt. You cannot besmirch a person's reputation or cast lies regarding uh, individuals. Okay. Also, you cannot make false claims and false accusations on social media because unfortunately what we have seen is that we have seen lives that were damaged and people have lost their jobs in regards to people saying um, irresponsible words on social media. So that's something we have to be mindful of. Okay. Okay. So the bottom line is this. If you are a county employee or a municipal employee, okay, yes, you can go to social media. Just have to be mindful. Okay. Now, I have been a YouTube creator for 2 years. Okay. And as you can recall I rarely discuss uh, my employer. Okay. The only thing I will mention is that I'm a municipal employee, and there's a reason behind that. Okay. Uh, okay, but you know what? We let's look. Let people say what they're going to say. Okay. Remember, it was last year that someone actually said I was a racist, but hey, it's neither here nor there. Okay. So, and of course, some of us saw the short video that our friend Keisha made today, actually yesterday, in regards to her deleting her social media. Now, I did reach out to her, and she will explain herself um, sometime today. I think 1 o'clock. Um, everything's okay. It's just that there's certain circumstances where it was necessary for her to delete most of her social media. Okay. And she will explain it herself. Okay. I'd rather not share that information because it was given to me in confidence. So, with that being said, now we're going to get into the main topic. Okay. As you can see by the thumbnail, the topic for tonight is this the end for Fresh and Fit? Okay. Um, for those of us who are not familiar with Fresh and Fit, there are um, a pair of melanated gentlemen. Okay, I'll say it that way. Okay, and they have a huge YouTube channel, and they do podcasts. However, they're considered to be very controversial due to the content, okay, and also due to the fact of certain individuals that appear on that platform, okay. One of them being Nick Fuentes, which many consider to be a racist, which he is, and these two individuals have also have said the nasty remarks when it comes to African American women and other different types of people. Okay. So, and of course, we saw them when in one episode on the podcast, they were acting like monkeys, referring to the African American community. And also, they had someone named Pearl Things, which are stupid remarks when it comes to slavery, things of that nature. Um, so what happened was they became demonetized. What does that mean? That means that they lost the ability to make money on YouTube. Okay. Now, one thing that we have to bear in mind. Okay. Now, before we continue, let me just let everybody know that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host of the channel is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image. Some of the views that people may hold may be considered offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. And now I'm going to bring in my first guest. Hey, Gigi.
Hey Jose, how you doing?
Okay. This is a first for me. I don't usually do streams this late, but it's just that I had to go on tonight.
That's good. Playback gang will come through, I'm sure.
Yes. So I don't know if you heard about what happened with Fresh and Fit.
I just heard they were demonetized and I guess they really don't know the reason. I went on over there to their channel to be nosy.
Um, actually, good evening, Irby. Actually,
Hey Irby, hey Don.
you know what? I'm not surprised to be perfectly honest, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Um, like it or not, there's certain guidelines that are in place with YouTube. Now, can they do a better job of enforcement? That's open to debate. But when you're constantly pushing the envelope again and again and again, it gets to a point where people go too far. Now, what's your thoughts?
Well, to be honest with you, I think we've talked about them before and I've told you that I don't watch their content. Um, if I watch people's content and it doesn't resonate with me or it doesn't really entertain me, I just keep it moving. The problem is a lot of people get obsessed with content that they don't agree with or like. And although I don't agree or support their content because I don't particularly like enjoy watching, men demean women and stuff like that. But I do believe in freedom of speech, and I do believe that it is under attack in our country, especially on social media. That's why a lot of content creators are leaving YouTube and they're going to what's that, Twitch? I guess you're over there already, right? I'm gonna look into it as
Actually,
well.
it's Rumble.
Oh, Rumble. Okay, my bad. Yeah, I knew it was something. So yeah, I don't agree with their content, but I agree that they have the right to create it and still should be able to get paid for it. But it's not my call, right?
But you know what? One thing, and I think people need to bear in mind, there are literally millions of YouTube creators out there in these YouTube streets. So if you find one that's not exactly your cup of tea, there's always others. Okay. Unfortunately, people get a little bit overboard. Okay.
Yeah, and the hate be real out here on social media. So you got to think about also the groups of people that have probably banded together to report, and that stuff catches up. I saw a lot of people saying they weren't taking accountability and stuff like that. But like I said, I don't really watch their content, so I don't know what what's really going on. Like, what are they doing different that they haven't always been doing? I don't know. Do you watch them?
I don't. I mean, the only reason why I know about Fresh and Fit is basically seeing other YouTube creators react towards them. Now, one thing that, as a municipal employee, myself and Keisha as well, there's certain guidelines that we need to be mindful for. Okay, first of all, of course, the obvious is that we cannot share confidential information on YouTube. Number one. Also, we have to be mindful of what we say because we are under what's called a code of conduct, which governs everything that we say and do. Okay, it's not like we are under censorship, but we have to be mindful of what we say.
Well, I mean, they just have so many. The thing is, at the end of the day, it's their platform. They can do whatever they want with it. That's the whole loophole around the whole free speech thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. It is a problem though with the whole censorship. And the thing is as content creators, we work so hard and you grind just to get to that thousand, just to finally get monetized. And then you're getting like pennies thrown at you. And then you build your platform up all the way to like a million plus viewers. And then you're getting thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a month. And just to be demonetized, like they are hurting right now. Like I was over there, they were pretty much begging because they were like, yo, they just lost all that money. So they are definitely feeling that hurt right now. And they got their cups up, looking for donations. Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be those that go on the donate, and then there's going to be people that are going to be breaking out the champagne and celebrating their so-called downfall. I do believe everyone has the right to govern how how they run their platforms. What I find, you know, hilarious, how certain people try to tell you how to govern your own platform.
You said what now?
No, I'm saying I find it funny how certain people will try to dictate how others should govern their platforms and who they should invite and don't invite.
Yeah, well, you see, that goes on, even down here in lower levels with us small content creators. So, yeah, it goes in the same way at the top.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, look, and look, I said it before, and I'll say it again. I mean, no one is taking a gun to your head to watch our content. I mean, hey, if you don't like what we're talking about, you feel free to leave. Feel free to find another creator, or actually do your own content.
Yes, I will say that offering that advice worked like in a couple of instances for me. Just telling people like, "Hey, you don't like my content, go make your own damn channel and leave me the hell alone." A couple people actually did that. So, I would definitely give that advice to people if you're at home and you're feeling crazy or irrational about other people's content. Just make your own channel and put out there what you would like to see, and try to garner a following of like-minded individuals like yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I hope you've been enjoying your how can I say, your
Vacation.
social media vacation.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been wonderful. And when you're doing so much work and stuff on YouTube and you're like just engrossed in all the bullshit and stuff, it it is kind of like an alternate reality, right? Sometimes you just got to check back in with real life, and you realize how unimportant these things are on YouTube. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Would you believe that my preparation dealing with the circus, actually dealing with the circus in real life? I mean, because if you take a look at some of the individuals that we have encountered, you know, here in these YouTube streets, unfortunately, they're not that different from the people that I deal with, in real life. I mean,
That's
unfortunately,
sad, Jose, because thank God I've never met any of these type of people in real life.
well, I don't know. It seems like I have a knack for attracting tracking the crazies. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, it's just that it's in my persona. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, first of all, because not only am I a municipal employee, I'm also a union rep, and seems like all the crazies come to me. It's like no one else want to deal with these people.
Yeah, well, that's kind of, yeah, I guess that's your job then to deal with the disgruntled people. So that makes sense.
Look, in fact, just this week, I was doing overtime, and I was approached from one lady getting upset about getting knock on the door, do a bed check after curfew, and I was trying to explain to this person that you're living in a shelter, so therefore, you know. it is the right of the staff to do back check to make sure that everyone is in their rooms and whatnot. And then the lady asked me that, she wants something in writing. Well, if you look at your own documentation that you got, it does state that we have that right. So, and of course, the lady got a little bit, upset. Of course, I didn't take it personal because, hey, I mean, we deal with the public, and sometimes the public can get a little bit pissed off.
That's funny that you mentioned that too. It's just like kind of random, but even in watching like other people's platforms in different sectors, like speaking of homeless, like people are so tapped into this virtual reality that their whole like real reality is like falling to the wayside. I've seen people on here become homeless. I mean, lights cut off, begging for cash apps, like, but these people won't get no jobs. They're just like on YouTube 24 hours a day hoping to make it big. It's really sad. It's
Well,
random, but I just wanted to bring that up.
well, first of all, we have lives. Number one,
Yeah.
okay, we have jobs, we have families, so
Yeah.
it's not like we're going to be thinking about this 24/7. Okay, this is like, okay,
But
this is,
imagine though these haters and these like, insane individuals, imagine if they put that energy into making money, how much probably more happier they would be.
yeah, but what's the problem with that? That makes no sense. No,
What's the problem with that, Jose?
but look, I consider myself blessed. I consider myself fortunate. First of all, because I got a life, okay, outside of YouTube. I also got a life outside of my job. I have family, I have friends, and I have met, some great people here in these YouTube streets, like you and Multi and Irby and a whole bunch of people. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Hello?
I'm not really flexing, okay? I'm just simply stating facts, okay?
And
If
Don
you,
Armando's going off in the comment section.
but you see, my channel, and I think it's the same thing with yours. It's a reflection of yourself, okay?
Hmm.
This is something that we devote time and energy to do. We try to reach out to our audience, and we try to expand our audiences as much as possible. So it's, for us, this is a labor of love.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a reflection of an aspect of us or our personality, but obviously not us. There's many different layers to us as human beings, but it's just an outlet to be creative, uh, if you enjoy that type of stuff, which I do, and obviously you do. Um, but it just comes with a heavy price tag, which is, online harassment and bullying and stalking, honestly.
I never thought the day would come when I'll be removed, not from one person's Discord, but three people's Discords.
You
I
pissing
mean,
folks off, Jose.
all I can say, bless their hearts. I mean,
That's what we say in the South. Bless their hearts.
yeah, I mean, look, it's just that.
I can't be bothered. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I am peeking in. I'm in the bushes. I'm in the clouds, and I am, thoroughly entertained. But I don't want no parts of the bullshit. I just want to be a spectator to it.
Look, I have my own situation to deal with. Okay,
Hmm.
so one of them is my health. Okay, which I've made. I talked about the fact that I'm gonna need surgery for my knee. So I
Hmm.
really don't have the time to deal with the circus. Okay, if people want to spaz out because because someone's in someone's platform, or they try to create a false narrative. I don't have the time nor the energy to deal with it. I'm just trying to be the best version of Hossein Negron.
I feel you on that. Same. And I hope everything goes well with your surgery, and you're in my prayers. So
Thank you, thank you. And in fact, uh, I'm uh, I'm gonna be sharing um this my journey.
yeah.
Good morning, daughter. Que Dios te bendiga. um, no, it's just that the reason why I'm sharing my story with others on social media, because there are other people that are going through the same thing that I'm
Mhm.
going through. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to be like a word of encouragement. It's like, okay, this is a rough time. This is a scary time. But you know what? We'll get through this.
Yeah. And that's what brings people in on YouTube too, is like going along with you on your journey. Even if you make content about other stuff, somehow in some kind of way your own like story and journey is, interwoven into all of our channels. So yeah, I think that'll do well and a lot of people will tune in.
Yeah, yeah, and oh, oh my goodness. Okay, that's okay. Look, I under okay. Let's try to tone it down a little bit. Okay, I understand that there's no love lost with these individuals, but you know what? It is what it
I
is.
think I went to that guy's I think that was his name, Macho. I went over there. They were really nice, but I, it might be another name, so I'm not sure.
Okay,
There's a couple of different ones.
well, I have never. I mean, I've seen some of his content. I have never actually
That's the
subscribed.
Dominican guy, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yes. In
I
fact,
think that's him. I need to
yeah,
Google.
yeah, he's another Dominican guy from Washington Heights. It's just that there's like this conflict between these two individuals. Um, I know that Don Armando has said his version of the situation probably had to do with the fact that allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, he
Oh, you know
disrespected.
what? That's a different dude. That's a different dude. I went to the Fighter Complex dude's live
Oh
stream.
yes,
That's a different dude.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
See, I'm
He
starting to
has.
learn these Latino content creators.
You know what? The more time you spend in my side of the fence, you will learn.
Yeah, I must be hitting the algorithm.
Well, hey, it took me a while to, to become familiar with people like yourself, Multi, Irby, Emma, Kimmy. I'm trying to think who. Well, all the members of the biracial community.
Irby said he hasn't got no time to chill. He's getting too much action right now.
But you know what? Um, I think I'm gonna be doing these late streams more often. I mean, it's like you gotta try to do things differently.
Yeah. I gotta jump down though. I couldn't come up long or whatever, but I did want to come up and show some support and talk to you for a couple of minutes. But
Well, I
my phone's
appreciate it.
about to
Thank you very
die.
much.
You're welcome. I hope somebody else can come up and join you, but I'm gonna go back down to the chat.
All right, take care.
You too. Thanks, Jose. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye. So, getting now, as I stated before, they've been demonetized. Um, what's my point of? Okay. Um, you know, everyone does have a right to say or govern how they run their platforms. However, there are certain guidelines that YouTube has in place, and the consequences of not following those guidelines can lead to other consequences. And now we're going to bring in.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, Don Armando.
Good morning. How's
So,
everything doing, Jose?
oh, I'm doing fine. Have you heard about what happened with Fresh and Fit?
Yeah, And I could say this: who cares? And I'll tell you of why I say this.
Okay.
I mean, me personally, there's certain stuff that I do agree with Myron Gaines, and then there's certain stuff that I don't. Because what people are actually getting mad about what Myron Gaines said, like how he demeans people and everything like that.
Yes.
People need to for people forget that this guy was a Fed, right?
Hmm.
Was a part of the Feds. So
Yes.
therefore, people who are Feds and everything like that, they feel that they're above the law already because they'll be the ones that, hey, I could punch out a cop and not get prosecuted
Hmm.
because all regional cops bow down to them. So therefore, if you see of how he actually has like cases of how he explained cases of what he worked through and the people that he locked up, et cetera, et cetera. The thing is though, he's not people who are getting upset. They're getting upset because he's saying stuff that people do not like. But what a lot of people don't understand is he comes from a law enforcement background. So of course he's gonna say stuff that you don't like.
Hmm.
And certain people may agree with me, certain people may disagree with me. Well, guess what? I'm just telling it how it is. And no offense to anybody who's in law enforcement, because I have several relatives who are in law enforcement. But law enforcement, they tend to be blunt, they tend to be dicks, but they tend to tell you the truth on how it is. And if you don't like it, oh well. And YouTube is becoming sissified to the point that you knocking up fresh and fit, but yet you let all these other content creators who are racist, homophobic, etc. You let them live, but yet now you're clamping down on fresh and fit. But then there's a whole bunch of content creators who are doing the same crap what they're doing. Even spreading misogynistic views about women.
Hmm.
But yet you're clamping down on Myron Fresh and Fit just because they're melanated. Something's up with that. I mean, let's be serious. When Andrew Tate was really on YouTube or whatever, they kicked him off. The only reason that we know of Andrew Tate is because of what his followers do. His followers always share his videos on Instagram, on Facebook, on any, and then he has an account on Rumble. That's the only reason that we actually hear about Andrew Tate.
Hmm.
So from my knowledge, yeah, they got demonetized. So I guess they'll have to go the Andrew Tate route. They'll have to have their whole bunch of followers put their old videos of what they were saying, and then when people are actually putting out their videos of what they're saying, they're gonna actually try to make residual money like Andrew Tate. So therefore, it might be a boon for them. And then you
Hmm.
got certain people who are QAnon and all these other organizations that might follow them also.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I have never followed Fresh and Fit. Okay. And, until like a couple of months ago, I didn't know they exist. Uh, it's just that they were never my cup of tea. I figure, yeah, they have their own content, what have you. But going on another topic, I don't know if you caught K-Shell's little stream earlier today.
No, I didn't. I'm gonna be honest because I was outside for the most of the day, so I don't know what's actually going on with Kasha. But I did hear something from what you said that she might have taken down some of her social media.
Actually, she deleted most of her social media. The only thing that she's on is Twitter. Okay, and
Oh, okay.
uh, but I did reach out to her, and she no, she is okay. Okay, she will share with with the audience what was the situation. Um, it's just that one of the things that we as municipal employees, we need to be mindful of what we say. So it's not like it's censorship, but it's just that, of course, the obvious is that we cannot share confidential information, and we have to be mindful about what we say, and that we cannot say anything that can put our respective agencies in a negative light. That's the reason why when I do speak about my job, I never mention the agency that I employ. I just simply indicated that I'm a municipal employee because I don't want the situation where I'll be taking the task because of my involvement with social media.
Well, hey, I could say this. I'm glad I'm a criminal.
Wow.
I mean, me personally is this. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not going to go tell you where I work at because there's going to be doxers on my way. I mean, they make secret groups just talking about me. I didn't know I was that important.
Mhm.
So, with that said, and certain people, they just begging for, you know, acts of violence to befall them. I'm just going my old route and becoming a good old criminal. The reason why I say that is because A, half these guys are punks and pussies. So therefore, they want to go talk all that shit about how they're alpha males, how they don't like black people. But let's put it like this. In this perspective, Dominican decadence and then his own crew of bastards. They will never go in this and they will say this to a black person's face. What they will do is that they will try to screw the person without knowing. So therefore, they do little moves. They try to get black people fired and everything like that. I know their type already. So therefore, they're the cowardly type. If they were to even have a head-on fade, I'll bet you most of them will have broken noses, and that's a known fact.
Okay. Well, in all fairness, I have had extremely limited interaction with Dominican Renaissance, um, with OG Doranjo. Okay. Um, but I have never had any interaction with Macho. Okay. Um, I mean, they are YouTube creators. I don't particularly watch their content. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Man, I'm just gonna say this. I don't care if it's taken out of context. I don't give a fuck who actually go and defend them. Fuck them all.
Hmm.
That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Well, look, all I can say is to each one's own, and each one of these individuals that I've spoken about, they have a right to how they govern their content. Okay. However, it does not mean that we have to consume their content. I mean,
I mean, aside from Blood Moon, she's not even a content creator. She's just a fart bag.
okay.
And I'm just saying, like, as far as all these other red pill content creators and everything like that. Just like Denise was saying, the manosphere content is dying, and the reason why it's dying is because a lot of men who actually consume the manosphere content, they're not actually having fruitful relationships. You're seeing most people who actually consume this content actually going to jail because they think of the alpha male that they have to tell somebody to do everything, and then when they're not built like that, they get their nose broken or something bad befalls them, like maybe professional, they get fired or something else. So therefore, people who are actually consuming this red pill content are men who are not actually fruitful within their lives and everything. So they feel like, okay, since they don't have like an important position or anything of that matter, and then some of them do not actually have financial education or how should I say it, or not emotionally intellectual. You actually see that all these emotionally unintelligent people will actually go and they'll actually find the red pill. So therefore, when you see people who are a red pill and they say, I'm an alpha male, every time they have an argument, 9 times out of 10, they're not. They're just emotionally unintelligent and they don't know how to control their emotions. When you see that people don't control their emotions, this is where the lies come in, the so-called manipulation. And they'll try to use all these tactics to say that they're the top dog when the fact is this is really small people. And the last time I see alpha males don't run in packs. Alpha males run solo. So therefore, if an alpha male feels threatened about one person, so you make a whole secret group talking about them. Then on top of it, you have a whole secret group of other people who are just talking about the people that come on your show. Then you have a guy who claims that he's an alpha male, saying that just because I have a person that he don't like on my show, he wants to go and send a order of protection on me just because he feels that what me and that person talks is against him. The last time I checked, a man who actually sends an order of protection on another male is actually looked down upon where I come from, and he is called abroad. So therefore, if a man's going to go and send an order of protection, mind you, I don't know who this guy is. 9 times out of 10, he's abroad. And if that person feels so threatened about how I run my content, I got news for you. Why don't you go around and take your gripes with me and we go in a boxing ring? So therefore I could punch you legally. That way, that person who actually come around and saying that he's going to go and do that, and then that same individual is the same person that loves to call protective services on people. Maybe then he could go around and just quiet down. Because at the end of the day, certain people are not afraid of you. I'm not going to even mention your name. You know who you are. And I know half of all these individuals, I know who they are. They're a bunch of punks, cowards. What the heck y'all gonna do? Nothing.
Well, um, well, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. First of all, if you have to be constantly saying that you are an alpha male, you're a beta male. Okay, a real alpha male doesn't have to say it at all. It will be known by their actions. Okay. People, no, there one individual likes to paint this narrative that I'm an old, senile, lonely white guy. Uh, that person's entitled to his opinion. That and 290 will get you a ride on the subway. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, um, I know who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am. Okay. People who do not like me, you know what? There's the door. Okay. And have a good day. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
back.
Okay. Yeah. Look, when I see some of these members of the circus, okay, and they doing their content. I mean, you have to, it's comical, but they're also pathetic. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Gigi. No sign of intelligence, okay? And but you know what's insanity is you keep constantly hopping on the same subject over and over and over again. What your thoughts, Don Armando?
Well, one thing. What's up, Ramon?
Good morning, Ramon.
Good morning, I guess. Yes, because it's already midnight. Even over here, what's going on, Don Jose, Armando? Shout out to the
You
chat.
know, just chilling, just being the asshole that I'm truly am, and just embracing my criminality.
Uh,
Now, other than that, I'm doing good.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, it's just I mean, I'm seeing what's going on, and just really quick when it comes to the whole thing with Fresh and Fit and what's happening to them. A lot of people are celebrating. I see that there are many people that are celebrating right now because of the issue that they're having. Now, I don't really follow them myself, but I do believe in freedom of expression. Um, and there are certain things where not both of them, but particularly Myron, the Myron guy, he has gone too far with it. Um, so maybe he does need to get to be suffering some consequence right now. But getting completely shut down, I don't think that's what should happen. I don't think it should happen. I do believe that because of certain things that they have been doing that they have might have crossed a line, then there should be some consequence. But getting completely shut down, I don't think that should happen. I don't think that should
Yeah,
happen. And
I
maybe
agree.
they'll find a way to kind of like reestablish what's going on, Golden. What's happening?
Oh,
Yeah.
you missed her. She was on the panel briefly.
Ah, okay. Yeah. It was just that I got detained dealing with something else that I didn't check in with you guys earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught Kesha's video earlier about her deleting most of her social media.
Yeah, I asked. Actually, I put a question in the chat, like, "Hey, what's going on? What's happening? Like, what's with you?" No, it's just that she seemed like worried and trouble, like something what's going on. I don't know if she. I was about to take a guess and put on the chat like, okay, do you have a stalker or something?
No.
But I'm not.
Well,
Yeah. I'm not speculating. I'm not gonna speculate. But
well, I reached out to her after that she did her video. She's going to share with the audience today. Yeah, it's particularly today. What was the set of circumstances? Just that what it is. We're both municipal employees, so therefore, when we are in social media, we have to be mindful of what we say
uh-huh.
because because it could be taken out of context of things of that nature.
Right.
Well, thank God I'm a criminal.
Well,
Uh,
well, thank
okay.
God thank God it's now 123 days until the first day of winter.
Exactly.
No. Well, here we're still dealing with weather a little
Nah,
bit warmer than the
nah, but
usual.
nah,
I mean,
nah, but Don Jose, you want to know something?
Well,
I was actually talking to Giorgio just today, and he was at me and him. We was actually chopping it up a little bit, and he actually informed me that it's actually snowing in Nevada, and that
what a lucky stiff.
and then on top of it, he was telling me that Nevada might get some hurricane weather. So I was like, wow. So he showed me some clips and everything like that. And then they were showing the snow in Nevada. I was like, wow. And I actually
See,
thought it was a myth.
see,
I didn't know that there were mountains because that can only be happening in kind of like in the higher altitude out there because the weather is hella hot. I
well,
mean, that's where Las Vegas is, and in Las Vegas
But
it's even
but
hotter than where I'm
but
at.
but then you have to know something, Ramon. It's
Uh,
called Nevada, right?
yes,
So when the Spaniards went up and went to those lands, it had to snow some at one point.
yes, yes, in the winter. But I find that difficult to believe that it's happening right now.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying in the past we may not know what was the weather because let's say for example, right? That okay, the Caribbean it has its climate or whatsoever, right?
Hmm.
But we don't know what before Columbus or anything like that. If people had an ice age or anything like that. Even
Yeah,
in
but we
certain
know
part,
when the ice age. We know when
yeah,
the ice age
yeah,
happened.
yeah, yeah. Even in certain parts of South America, it snows. So
In
Argentina and
Argentina, there
Chile,
should be
yeah.
snowing right now. It should
Yeah.
be.
Speaking about ice age, wouldn't it be nice if we had a short ice age, say like 100 years?
No,
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 no.
no.
No. I mean, like, no. You know why?
And no, and no, and
No,
no.
no. I'm from New York, and I'm saying no.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's like to the point that when my dad was alive, right? And all his years that he was working in the snow and everything like that. I mean,
Hmm.
like I guess his bones couldn't really take it and stuff. So he actually came to, New York like maybe around the summertime and stuff. But he could never deal with the winter after because he worked all his years right there. So he's like, man, I'm just gonna go to the Caribbean. And
Hmm.
you got certain people who are who are born in the Caribbean. When they go to New York and they work like a certain amount of years, and then when they go back, they might have like problems with their bones just because of the colder climate that they stood in. So it's just that with certain people, I guess people who were born in the Caribbean, the
Hmm.
they can't really take Canada or Europe or Northern Europe or anything. They'll have to stay in, I guess, in hotter climates in order to maintain their health and so forth.
well,
Yeah.
tonight I did another night of overtime, and they have the air conditioning on according to my specifications. So I was happy.
Hmm. Yeah, everybody else was miserable, I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean,
No,
it is in a hot NYC day. Air condition can actually help you good. I could tell
yes.
you that. Another thing about weather and such. So, since a lot of these YouTube creators are actually going to have a very cold and lonely winter. I mean, I want to know what song would be appropriate for the Myron Gaines situation.
That would be a good question.
Yeah. How you doing, Gigi?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, Don? Hey, Aborigua.
Well,
Hey,
I'm smoking.
Golden Mama, what's going on?
Well,
I
you
got a
know,
little, I got a little bit
Gigi.
more charge, so I came up. What'd you say, Don?
Well, Gigi, hopefully you and I, one day whenever I go to Florida, and all this mess is over, you and I, we could actually smoke on a Stalker pack.
Oh my gosh, I am so out of the loop. I don't even know what's going on. I assume that's why I wrote that in the comments that all this is going down in the Discord, right?
Now, what happened is that on Telegram, right? Pertaining me, there's a lot of people that there's one person who I'm not going to mention is the one that don't like me and other people, and they don't like one particular individual on my page. So therefore, this guy has called me monoracial, went up and said disrespectful things about my wife, etc. And he's talking about sending a order of protection just because I have somebody that he don't agree with on my show. The last time and then the person who actually does the rants on Twitter was actually trying to call Georgia a school shooter, and then went up and has an obsession with Georgia or me and angry biracial. So therefore, this guy is a damn weirdo. I'm not going to mention his name, but you know who I'm speak of. So therefore, when this guy gets his comeuppance, because I'm not going to go around and do anything, I'm just going to just wait. When he gets his comeuppance, you and I, whenever I'll go to Florida, we just roll up a doobie and just call it a Stalker pack.
Oh,
Don, I'm trying to get away from these weirdos.
Man, it's like this. If you know that you could actually legally protect yourself, do so.
mm-hmm.
So that way, if those weirdos they want to go and get butt hurt and they want to show right there, now self-protection.
Yeah,
I'm big on that. I'm big on
not worried about
self-protection.
that. Hopefully, it doesn't
Yeah.
come to that though. Sorry, what'd you say, Boricua?
I'm big on self-protection. Anybody that can, especially if you are a head of a household and you're by yourself, I'm big on that, on self-protection. Whatever it is that you need to do, whatever it is that is allowed in your state. And I understand that you're in Florida, so you have options. And when it comes to protecting yourself, and
I don't. So therefore, this is what I'm going to say. I'm just going to buy me a pit bull. That's it.
You could always get your folding chair, and keep strapped with
that. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like folded chairs are a pit bull. That way, if cops would go say, "Hey, you did that," okay, I have a folding chair, and I don't really have authority to have the big things until I actually do certain stuff. So right there, if I have a dog and I have a folding chair, and I'm in the household, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do I have to have a license for a folding chair, or do I have to have a license for a pit bull? That's what I want to know.
Well, I just think that this whole time people were telling me, like, let it go, don't feed into it and all this. And I wasn't trying to hear that because I was all into just defending myself. But I will say, though, when these people let you know that they are literally insane and criminally insane, it really is best to just ignore them and deal with them their legal route. Because when people are insane and they don't have nothing to lose, it gets dangerous. You know what I mean?
Well, guess what? They forgot one thing. You got some insane friends that will actually handle them. So therefore, with that matter, sometimes the legal route don't really fucking help people.
Oh, I'm just trying to bring a little peace.
So with that said, I'm just saying the non-weapons way. If these people, hey, I'm gonna do this. Okay, guess what? There's a boxing ring. And if you have all your gripes about me, we could settle it right there. Until then, shut the fuck up. I'm tired of this shit. Straight up.
Well, yeah, there are many internet tough guys, and
Like,
well, something that I wanted to ask you, Golden, are they still giving you grief, giving you problems, trying to get you in trouble with government agencies and things like that? Are you still
I'm,
dealing with that shit?
I mean,
I just separated myself from that space and from them people. I'm only like engaging in this conversation because you guys are really talking about it, but I just have just disengaged myself from the whole group of people because it's not only the stalkers and the people that are actually, it's also the people that are supporting them or the people that are just too afraid to stand up for what's really right. I just feel like the whole space is just morally corrupt and degenerate, and I'm just done with it. So
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know if
I
they're
hear
talking
you.
about me or not. I'm not watching it. Shit.
I mean, it's funny, right? Like a person could talk about me, right? I've been, I've been called by degenerates a monoracial. I was like, wow, I get the monoracial this. I've been called a Philly nigga. Hmm. I feel vindicated that I'm an official Philly nigga right now. And guess what? The guy went up and said that I'm a fake Latino. Wow. I feel great. I feel very invigorated. You know
Mm,
why?
mm,
Because
mm,
all of them are lies. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I
think
feel
about it.
like people try to find your trigger points or whatever. Like I've been called white on this app. I've been called black on this app. I really don't give any like reaction to it because it's not like a trigger for me.
I'm,
But
I'm,
I
Well,
feel like
I'm
they
like,
feel like I feel like they're triggering you by saying that.
um, yeah, but Gigi, remember, you and Multi are hyenas. Irby is a simp,
Well, that's what
and
I'm saying. They try to find a way to get to you. Like through me, they talk about my family, they talk about my kids, they talk about me as a mother. Like they find the thing that bothers people the most, and then they will, when they see that it
mm.
bothers you, they'll hyper focus and they'll pick and pick and pick at that, you know?
but you know something, and this is something that's a serious issue because as a municipal employee, I'm a mandated reporter. So
Hmm.
therefore, when you have people who make false accusations um, involving children's services, what that does is, first of all, you're taking away from people that can actually investigate serious accusations because someone gets butthurt because of something that happened on YouTube.
Yeah, it's just the principle of stuff.
you
I don't
know,
have to worry about that. If they're called, they do an investigation. I've been investigated. I've been cleared. I don't have those type of issues.
yeah,
But it's the point. It's the principle of it. You know, if you're in situations like that where people are actively trying to disrupt you or your children's life, I mean, I don't need no parts of that bullshit to be on YouTube for what? Like these people, it's such a small space to have this many crazy people in it.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree, Gigi. It's funny, right? That this particular stalker, right? I mean, they said the whole crap. Like, okay, let's put it like this: if me and Jose, we talking on our stuff, right? And whatsoever, where does it? And I give like a obvious thing of masculinity. Where does this bastard? When I say he's a bastard, went up and try to say that the person that he don't like, I mean, when we're just talking, he's like, "Hey, that's your gay lover." I'm like, the last time I checked, this guy's a bisexual. You're going around, you're harassing married men, saying
Oh boy.
sexually suggestive things, and to try to go and call me out of what I am, which is a married man. Back in the day when it was the good old 90s, when everybody was very politically incorrect, you know what happened to people that went up and falsely called a man out of his name? A good old break in the jaw. So therefore, that's why I believe that some of these cowards need. They need that and a nice cup of shut the fuck up.
I think, look, if these people were actually given like a psychological evaluation before they were allowed to go on YouTube, a lot of these people wouldn't be on the platform to begin with.
And you know what? And to second that, Jose, you know what? A good psychological evaluation is a good old break in the jaw. I mean, think about it.
Oh God.
I mean, think about it. Certain people, with certain individuals, you could try to talk rational. You could try to talk everything, but these guys, they want to go around and go the other ladder. So therefore, if anything has been talked about, the incident in Alabama, that some of these psychos just need a good chair in the face. And guess what? They say that violence don't solve anything. Well, guess what? Sitting down and letting people run over you doesn't either.
Look,
Okay, but are you talking about certain individual that is being alleged that they are into trannies? Is that what you're talking about?
Wait,
Well,
who? What? I must be really
it's like,
behind.
it's like this. Introvert Boricua. That person, we're talking about them, but we're talking about another person
Oh,
who we know that is into trannies.
okay.
So and the thing is though, like just because I have a show and I have certain people that a certain person that a lot of people don't agree with, I've been said that person is my gay lover. The guy went up
Oh,
and the guy went up and said that I'm monoracial. He's gonna send a order of protection against me because I'm actively dissing him. Okay, so therefore, let's put it like this: if you do sign the order of protection and you do all that stuff, technically, what I could do is I could go to a gym and I could set up a nice, clean boxing match. So that way, if I could legally beat you up, which is a boxing match, which is a sport, you won't get butthurt with it. But I don't see that person accepting that. You know why?
mhm.
Because he's abroad. A guy that wants to wear a skirt. So therefore, when you actually present a man and threaten a man that you're gonna go and send an order of protection, and I don't even know you, now that's what broads do. Real men don't do that.
well, on a happier note, okay, I'm going to be doing another interview on my platform pretty soon. Actually, I'm going to be interviewing Christina.
Yes, I had the
Yeah,
pleasure
I'm
of
looking forward to that. Yeah, you
I had
mentioned
the
something about that.
I had the
Mhm.
pleasure of meeting her last week. She's a good person.
Yes, she's
Yeah,
really.
yeah. All of you guys were meeting last week, and just a few days before that, I was in New York, and all of you, I couldn't meet any of you. I mean, but you make
I'm
plans after I left.
I'm
Uh-huh.
I'm, I mean introvert. If you would have known, if you would have just let, we got to go and trade numbers. So that way, if you was up in New York, right? I mean, at least you could just take the train to Philadelphia, and I could actually show you around.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Ramon, you can always come to New York in the wintertime.
Hell
No.
no. Hell no. I have been clear on that. That's not changing.
I
I'm
mean,
not
come on.
changing.
Yo, Jose, I'm just gonna tell you this, right? The only way that you're ever gonna
Okay.
Yeah, you went mute. You went mute, Armando.
I think what happened is that some music blaring on his end because yeah, I got it, but yeah, but Ramon, I mean, you need to experience New York in the wintertime. It's such a cheerful time. You can go ice skating in Rockefeller Center.
Uh-uh.
You can watch the ball drop on New Year's Eve and get hugged and kissed by strangers and what have you. It's a beautiful thing.
No, no, I'm good. I need to have decent weather. That's not decent weather. That's cold ass weather. Polar bear shit. Nah.
Well, right now the temperature is, I think it's 65 degrees, so it's summer like.
No, no, no. You already need at 65 degrees. You already need a jacket. you
No,
already
no,
need to be wearing a jacket because it's already a bit chilly. Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Actually, that's the time to put on the AC.
No, no. At 65 degrees, I don't put on no AC. I just put on a fan because it's already a bit chilly.
No, chilly. It would be like when it's like, say, in the 20s or in the teens. That's chilly.
Mm-mm. No, 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 no. I mean, it's good. It's good how it is now, where it's not really hot like that. The way it is now. Now that I visited, I didn't need I wasn't needing a jacket, but I wasn't sweating my butt off either, so it wasn't so bad.
But you know something? Wouldn't be nice if I was giving complete climate control of the world's weather.
No, no, that's not a good idea.
I mean, I would be a benevolent dictator. Okay, first of all, I will allow one day out of the year that the temperature will reach
No.
90 degrees. Okay, and I'll be generous. I will never let the temperature go below 10 below.
Okay. Understand, Jose. That's freezing. That's overly freezing. That's like being in a meat locker or something.
No, no, no. That's a normal winter.
No, can't do it. Can't do it. Too cold.
I mean, well, look. I mean, think about it. If I had complete control of the weather, we would never have global warming again.
Mm, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you should embrace the cold like you embrace your shorty.
No, no, no. I'll embrace my shorty, but I don't want cold. No thanks. No thanks. Let's get back.
Yeah,
Let's get back. Let's get back on the whole
yeah,
on the whole
yeah,
subject.
but
But I look forward. I look forward to your interview. So settle your questions. Have a good interview, and I look forward to it. I
well,
mean,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's going to be the typical questions, like, how was your childhood? I mean, what is your channel about, and whatever you. I mean, something similar with similar to the questions I asked Denise and you, with the exception of the spicy stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
So, but look, like I said before, one thing we have to bear in mind when it comes to like these platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and other things, there are guidelines that if you do not follow the guidelines, there are consequences. Okay, my issue is that it needs to be applied equitably to all, and at times I don't think that is the case. What are your thoughts?
Okay, the question can be to either of us.
Yeah, it could be either one of you, either you or Don Armando. I know that he can't answer because of the music in the background.
Oh, okay, okay. So because maybe I'm using my phone, so maybe I didn't hear the
Okay,
question.
okay, no, no. It's just that my point is that um, like YouTube, they have its own guidelines. You know,
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I think, yeah, sometimes I think that they can be a bit too arbitrary because I noticed that I'll be out on a limb and say that when it comes to things that have to do with gender, there are certain subjects that you can touch on that have to do either with gender or with social things, social agendas, and things that have to do with gender. When it comes to men being able to stand up for themselves, that there is a lot of censorship when it comes to that, and or sometimes YouTube does seem to be promoting alternate lifestyles and rainbow stuff, and you have to be careful with what you say. You can't mention certain groups, which tells you something as to who are the ones that are ruling over us, over the rest of us. I mean, because there are certain groups that you can't even mention because there is a consequence. So they are very protected. They are overly protected, but and I don't think it should be like that. I mean, everybody should be able to take some criticism, some disagreement or something.
see, my issue is that the enforcement is not equitable. Okay, I don't have a problem with the enforcement guidelines as long as it's equitable. But at times it's not the case.
No, it's not. It's not. There are certain types. There are certain people that they can do whatever they can say whatever they want. They criticize and they throw under the bus. There is no consequence, but that's slightly little bit of criticism to them, and the other people have to pay a consequence to that. Now I understand that when it comes to fresh and fit, there have been instances where they have taken it too far, and I don't mind them suffering some type of consequence, but I do think that a lot of the time they do a lot of work that is actually good because if you look at some of the shows that they do shows that are about men and finances. There are shows that they do that have to do with men and taking care of themselves, physical fitness, and things like that. And there are shows that they do that have to do with men and interacting with women. And they just today they had somebody who apparently I don't know if the guy is a psychologist. It's another content creator. The I think it's called Psych Hack, psychological hacks, psych hacks, something like that. And and it has to do with being able to become better men and being able to interact with women and things like that. So I don't have any problem with all of those things. Is that it's just that there have been certain extracurricular things that they have gotten into, they have gotten in trouble for it. I mean, like that whole episode where they were putting bed sheets, white bed sheet over their head and making monkey noises at people like what the fuck, like what the hell are you doing? They should have known better than to do that. But overall, for the most part, I don't have a problem with what they do. It's just that there have been instances in which they have taken it too far. They have crossed the line. There should be some consequence for it. But then completely getting shut down and completely losing the channel, no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because there is still something that one can take from what they're doing. I mean, like you take you see the overall of what they do, and maybe there is something in what they're talking about that could work for you, and you could say you could take it and make it a part of your life, and it could actually do a little bit better. So no, I don't think they should be completely shut down. I really don't think so. This is a duo that has amassed over 1 million subscribers. So why would no? It's not in the best interest of you to shut down a channel with such a large following, because those are very few and far in between. Those are rare, and they get the views, and they get they're not detrimental for YouTube. I mean, hopefully they can work something out, and eventually they can still keep the channel.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, like I said before, my issue is not the equitable enforcement of these guidelines. I mean, you see some of the stuff that some of these YouTube creators have said, which is basically, you know, insane and what have you, but yet they managed to get away with it. Um, but I think that's part of the reason why people are going into Rumble, because they don't want to deal with all that those rules and regulations that YouTube sometimes enforce and sometimes does not enforce.
Yeah, yeah. I know from what I have seen the last couple of episodes, they have been going hard in promoting their Rumble channel, and they should have that as a backup, and hopefully Rumble doesn't change their guidelines and becomes like YouTube with the whole censorship shit. So let's hope that at least they can keep it going there, and there are ways where there are people that are hardcore supporters of them, that they can kind of like chip in and help the channel keep it going, because they don't have any monetization now, so they do need the support, and I'm sure that their audience is doing what they can. And but no, I don't think they should be shut down. I don't think so. Yes, they have gotten into beefs with other content creators, and there have been instances that they have made themselves look bad. Yes, they have. But getting shut down, no. I believe in freedom of speech. I mean, even if and First Amendment rights are that's specifically for the type of speech that you don't like, or that I don't like. So I do want for the channel, for the cause, what they're doing, that they could get some protections. I do. I don't believe they should be completely shut down and silenced, because that's the thing with censorship. It's about getting silenced. I wouldn't want that on there.
No.
I hear you.
So
I just had to get away from, I guess, whatever. But that's fine. But think about it. This is one thing I do agree, and I think Rumble's going to happen. So therefore, it looks like certain YouTube creators that I don't get along with, that might be the route. So with that said, it's like now you see a lot of people who got shut down by YouTube or whatsoever. They go to these sites called Telegram and Discord and then Rumble. So therefore, they have Rumble and everything like that. By the time that Rumble's platform takes over YouTube with all the limited censorship and everything like that, it's going to become another YouTube, because it's going to have more people who are doing it and doing it without the censorship. Is it going to be?
Yes, yes, that's the thing. That's the thing. They try to avoid the censorship.
Yeah, it's gonna be that whoever owns Rumble, right? It's gonna be so much because the censorship is gonna come when violent altercations arise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So think about it, right? Back in the day, YouTube, you could act before softies went up and took it out, right? There was countless stuff that you could actually watch on YouTube. Well, not all, but some
Mm-hmm.
that you got certain people that went up and they put it out there. You know, people getting shot, body parts being blown, amputations by shrapnel, etc. Right. So now it's just only shown like in the cinematic text, right? So now, if you have people who actually are active in Rumble, I'll give it to you. Like in 5 years, there's going to be some idiot that's going to mess it up to the point that Rumble will start censorship. I kid you not. It's either going to happen in Chicago or it's going to happen in some third world country. I bet on it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I say that is because when you have platforms that have zero censorship, the U.S. government will try to shut it down by any means necessary. Look at Lively, look at Orgus, look at Rotten.com. They showed most of the most uncensored stuff of people getting death. But you don't see those anymore because they phased it out. You know what I'm saying? So give it a few years. They're going to phase out Rumble because there's going to be some idiot of the extremist or criminal side, you know, my tribe, that's going to do something stupid. And then that's when you see the censorship begins. I kid you not.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Oh, I see. We have another guest. Hey, Joaquin.
So, Rakim,
Hey, shout out to you, Jose. Thank you for letting me up. Shout out to Don. What's going on, Don? Shout out to my boy, the
I'm
introvert.
chilling.
What
What's going on, Rakim? Hey.
nothing much, Ramon. You guys was talking about the whole fresh and fit thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't really know what to say about those guys, man. I don't really care for them too much. I mean, they've said a few foul anti-black things, especially for them to be of African descent themselves, but that don't mean much. Even with Byron making the monkey chants and acting like a monkey, and I'm like, this dude fit or fresh and whichever one's the darker play. I'm like just going along with it, and him putting on the Klan's outfit and on Rumble or whatever. But it is what it is with them dudes. But yeah, I mean, they had a lot of money tied up in the channel, and they put in a lot of work and everything like that. So I know it hurts to see it go, but if anybody remember back in 2008, YouTube was the wild, wild west. We was able to say anything on here. We was able to, voice our opinions and everything on videos and different things like that. Now that's changed. Once, it's always the content. The content creators is the same thing that they did with television shows, like is the same thing that they're doing with YouTube. And for people that don't see the pattern, I'll break it down like this. When we was all coming up, we watched Martin, we watched In Living Single, we watched New York Undercover. Well, it had came out when Fox News they was deciding that they was going to target a Black and Hispanic audience to be able to get their ratings up. And once they got their ratings up and they had those shows with Blacks and Hispanics, they abandoned it. They sold it. They sold it at a higher margin, or they started producing shows for other people, per se, and they completely abandoned that that audience. The same thing with UPN. Now YouTube, these business practices is always the same. YouTube, they made all of their money off the content creators that was regular people that made this streaming platform what it is. And once that they got millions and millions and got involved with business and advertisement and everything, they sold it to Google. And if we notice, even back then, the celebrities who used to look down on YouTube and talk and look down on YouTubers, now that they've lost, people are not watching television anymore. So now they're looking to come over to YouTube to, make their platform over here. And this is how they'll make their money, off of subscribers and super chats and different things like that. And now YouTube is trying to get away from the people that originally made this platform what it was and make this more of a celebrity based kind of platform. And that's why you have all of the censorship. A lot of stuff is going on, and a lot of people are going to be pushed out. Now the new thing is going to be Rumble, and probably within the next 10 to 15 years in Rumble, the same thing is going to happen.
Yeah. It could very well be. It could very well go that way. I mean, it's just that on regular television, regular network television, it wasn't a time where it was as you said, the Wild Wild West, but maybe it was so politically correct. That would be the closest thing to it. I mean, and a man could still be a man. And could crack jokes that involve women, and women had a thicker skin, but, and nobody was trying to put a man in jail because he made a joke that could be perceived to be anti-women. And that's the thing, because there are certain protected groups, real protected groups, that you can't criticize at all. So it's very arbitrary, the whole thing when it comes to freedom of speech and a platform like YouTube. You can't say anything about them. Shit can be said about men, of course. There is money in it, but anything else, criticizing anything else, that's a no-no. So
Yeah.
let's see what happens with Rumble.
And you're right about that, Ramon. This is geared towards to be more of a feminist base, alphabet base. Everything, the whole country is gearing toward that. And I don't understand, because both the feminists and the alphabet people are minorities, like very, very small, very small. And I'm trying to figure out if they're trying to establish a voter base by doing all of this stuff, or if they're just trying to cause more confusion to keep things running the way that they want to, so they don't lose power, or whatever they're trying to do. But it's obvious this is being geared towards another direction, especially when you look at them with the history of Africa. They thought they were just going to go in there and force Africa to do what they want them to do by establishing the whole alphabet thing over there. But that's not going to happen. Jamaica and the Caribbean is not going to happen. The only way it's even made its way into Puerto Rico is because of Puerto Rico's connection to the United States. Other than that, it's not going to happen in a lot of these other places. And they didn't try the same thing with the Middle East. I wonder why.
Yeah, no, particularly in Puerto Rico, particularly because of the connection with the Northeast, which is generally very, very liberal, and that's where you find the diaspora Puerto Ricans that refer to themselves as being Latinx, which is not a thing. And I really wish that the diasporas would stop using that term. That's one part of it. But there are unfortunately also, which is something I'm gonna have to do some type of live stream in touching on that, because just like it seems that just like there are Hispanics that we don't really think too much of them because they're such a tiny faction. There are what we will call the Hispanotabs, or the Spain worshippers. There seems to be kind of like the very opposite of that. The at the other end of the spectrum, there seems to be another extreme, which is kind of like the ones the diasporas that talk just like the pro-blacks. This is something. This is a new development for me. This is something that I'm gonna have to do a stream on that, because I've had to deal with a couple of them, and instead of just being Puerto Rican, they talk just like the FBAs, and they are more black identified. But the thing is that they're not any better. They're not any better because they're having an identity issue. So, but that will be something that is gonna be addressed some other time. So there are people that have been influenced with other mentalities, and that not necessarily is not done in a progressive way. But yeah, it seems to be diasporas from the northeast that are like kind of like have somewhat forgotten for who they really are. But yeah,
Interested to watch that live stream, Ramon. When you say that they speak like the FBAs, what was your encounter with them? What's some of the things that they're saying?
well, basically, they were trying to argue with me. you know that there have been. You know that there have been certain Hispanics that maintain something about their identity, and maybe they're not talking about kind of like in Afrocentric terms or something like that. I've had to and there are maybe certain Black Americans that are kind of like Afrocentric, and they try to talk to maybe Caribbean Hispanics, and they try to convince them of something that has to do with African heritage and things like that. Well, it seems that there are diasporas that talk like that too, and I've had to deal with a couple of them recently that they were trying to convince me that I haven't realized how much I have been oppressed because of me being brown, and or there are others that talk as if because I'm racially that I'm racially mixed, I enjoy certain privileges, and my fellow Puerto Ricans that are darker skinned are oppressed on the island right now. And they claim that there are all of these groups and websites and and, and all of these organizations on the island, not in the states, but on the island, that are going around rallying for things that have to do with race, which is a lie. The island, nobody's really doing that. People are rallying around about things that have to do with the government, but there are certain diaspora that are trying to convince me that I'm being oppressed, and that I have been oppressed for so long that I don't realize it. Listen to that. there are diasporas that are talking like that, that are trying to convince me that I'm a victim.
Mhm. Man,
Unbelievable. And these
well,
are diaspora. I'm not talking about Black Americans coming at me with this shit. No,
no,
I'm
no,
talking about.
yeah, in the Northeast, Boricuas from the Northeast, like the Nuyorican and different things like that.
Uh-huh.
Now,
And trying to argue with me about it, and I'm telling them, look, I from the island. I'm from the island, and I'm telling you, nobody's going around talking about race like that. And then, just like certain Black Americans do, like to do with us, they start bringing up the whole better the race thing. Dude, the whole better the race thing was a thing back when my great grandmother was alive. That was more of a thing for her. My family today, nobody talks like that. We have moved on from that shit, and they don't believe it. They try to lecture me about me. They try to lecture me about try to lecture an islander about being a islander. It's just so fucking insulting. It makes me laugh. This is a new development for me. I'm telling you, this is it's mind blowing to me because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, like it's certain. I'm starting to learn it's certain, like it's just certain people within YouTube that I don't properly mesh with. As far as I can never tell you about being an islander, Ramon. I've never even been to the island. The only thing I've heard is
Yeah,
from people that been to the island that can. They said it was a beautiful island with
yeah.
great culture. The only thing I say that I can speak on.
Oh, you got cut off. You got
Yeah.
cut off, Joaquin. If you can hear this, yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
All right.
I've have heard of racism on the island. I remember actually watching the interview with Tego Calderon where he was
Hmm.
on My Block, Puerto Rico, where he said that it was prejudice on the island, at
Yeah.
least his experience. He actually even had a song called Chongo Blanco where he talked about the prejudice there, but I don't think that is.
No, it's not like I don't. I'm not being naive. I'm not being naive saying that it
Oh no,
doesn't
no, no, I
exist
know.
at all because I know that in the kind of like in the Loiza area there might be more policing, more policing than the usual, considering that the resources are somewhat limited. I mean, it's not perfect. I'll be the first one to say it's
Um,
not perfect, but nobody's really going around. Uh, Going on and
it's
on
not the
talking about
United
race.
States. Yeah, it's not the United States. Put it that way.
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and I did see it wasn't a race march, but well, it was a mixture. They was talking about race, but it was more of the Latin X thing, where it was some lesbian women on the island that was
Oh
marching.
yeah. There are feminists. There are
That's the only two things.
there are something like about that on the island also, but that's because, as you said, it's because of the direct connection with the Northeast. And
Hmm.
they got some of the locals that are trying to keep trying to adopt certain policies that are just like in the northeast of the United States, and which probably will explain why it's so costly for people to be able to protect themselves. They're trying you know what I'm talking about, the
Oh
whole
yeah,
thing with
yeah,
the second amendment on the island that's supposed to apply to the island.
yeah.
But on the island is
Doesn't.
very expensive. It's
Yeah,
fucking expensive, but that's because they're following what they do in New York or in
yeah.
Massachusetts, where there
Hmm.
are all of those restrictions. Yeah.
And then the funny thing is the citizens on the island can't protect themselves if it's something like if you got guys that's running around shooting stuff up if they get into drug beef anything like that, which is crazy. Which
Hmm.
is crazy. But yeah, like it's a lot of things. But what's your opinion on Fresh and Fit, Ramon? As far
My
as
opinion on Fresh and Fit, what I was sharing earlier with Jose and Armando is that yeah, there have been instances in which they have gotten carried away and they crossed the line and they messed up. And what you were mentioning were making of the monkey noises and they're wearing bed sheets, the white bed sheets over their head, like I was one of the first people to go like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Right? He's trying to really fuck it up for himself,
yeah,
and that seems to be they're going through a consequence, which I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that, but I don't think they should be completely shut down. I don't think they should lose their channel. I think they should have a chance to kind of like get back on track and rebuild because, like I was mentioning, if you look at what they do during the week, they have shows in which they are sharing information with men about finances. They have shows about fitness. They have shows about relationships with women,
Hmm.
and they bring other people in. Just today, they brought in. I think it was like a psychologist,
Hmm.
and they were talking about they were talking about issues that have to do with dating, relationships. And so they bring other people in that maybe are better versed in the subjects than them, and that I think is a good thing. I don't think that should be denied of them for them to be able to do that. That whole thing about them um uh, because they were mocking. I think they were mocking about a bridge, and they were doing the whole monkey shit and the imitating apes and wearing wearing the bed sheets over their heads. I think they were mocking those other guys, um,
And
and
half the
which
preacher
which was
hilarious.
which was extremely childish. That
Yeah.
she was very childish, and maybe they're suffering a consequence because of that, which I don't have a problem with. But I don't think they should be shut down.
Well,
Mhm.
like you said, even though I don't really care for them too much, like how we get down, man. I'm fair all across the board because
Mhm.
I agree with you because if they get shut down, then what does that mean for the freedom of speech as far as what you
Yeah, it's about precedent. Yeah.
exactly? So I agree with you as well. I don't think they should. Me personally, I don't care either way, but for that, they shouldn't. They should be able because that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's going to be a lot of people channels that are going to get
Yes.
down. And man, when you look at and like I say, I don't really care for the guys. I don't really like them too much, but I'll be a hater if I didn't give them credit on the work that they put in to build that channel. They put in a
Hmm.
lot of work. Me personally, I think Kevin Samuels is what took them to the top, but they had to pay these guests, they had to get them hotel rooms and different things like that. But
Hmm.
for the most part, they put in a lot of work and was consistent. But man, could you like all the money that they lost?
Yes. Yes, because they have gotten completely demonetized. Now if they're gonna keep functioning, that is gonna have with direct support from their followers, and they're gonna need them um to donate to them now.
Hmm.
Now, because of the subscriber base, that shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, if each one of their subscribers were to put in like a couple of dollars per month, they should be fine. They should be fine. I mean, that's what people that support the kind of like artists and content creators. That's what they do. They support. I mean,
Hmm.
so they can continue doing the work that they do. So maybe that this should be a time for their subscriber base to step it up and show that look, we got you, we got your back.
They're gonna have to if they don't reach some type of middle ground with YouTube. They're gonna
Hmm.
have to because if they do reach a middle ground, best believe when they come back, it's gonna be heavily censored. I was gonna answer Irby's question. Myron is a Northern Sudanese descent, Irby, which is kind of like a mixture of Arab and East African descent. Um,
Hmm.
some of them are completely Middle Eastern descent, but for the most part, yeah, a lot of them are a mixture of East African and Middle Eastern or African Bantu, I should say,
Yeah.
Middle Eastern descent. Yeah. So, um, but yeah, man, it's like they really pushed the envelope. Like I said, some of the things, especially in regards to Black Americans. I didn't like them saying, everybody's entitled to their own. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I don't have to like it for me to respect that they have the right to say it, and they definitely do have the right but the way that YouTube is going now, YouTube is about business, and the business is in investing into the feminists, into the alphabet people. So there's no room for nothing else as far as having serious conversations on YouTube. Irby said, so he's just racist. Yeah, well, Irby, if you know like a lot of the history with the North Sudanese, they're very bigoted towards Black people in general. They was major players in the slave trade, in the Arabic slave trade, and they looked down on the what's the tribe, the Dinka tribe of people down in southern Sudanese. So they already come here with that mentality. Like if he does, he's one of those people that's of mixed African and Arab ancestry, but he leans more towards being a racist Arab. So, and yes, Fit is definitely anti-Black American. He comes from the Caribbean, and he just goes along with whatever Myron says. But if I was to denounce them saying what they saying, which I heavily disagree with, I'll be denouncing freedom of speech in general. So like my boy Ramon said, I don't think that should have cost them their channel, because if I want to say certain things, or Ramon want to say certain things, or Jose want to say certain things, or Don want to say certain things, we'll all be heavily censored or forced to, get whatever. If we got a channel demonetized, get it demonetized, and I'm not with that at all. But this is going to be the beginning. They're being used as an example to show what YouTube is no longer going to tolerate. YouTube is a far cry from what it once was in 2008 and 2007. So this is where we are now.
Well, as I said before, okay, if they're enforcement equity, it wouldn't be such an issue. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to wrap this up. I don't know if anyone is willing to stay for the backstage briefly.
Yeah, I'll stay for a few.
Because to be perfectly honest, I
I'll stay.
never started a stream at 12:30 my time.
Yeah. I almost miss it.
Yeah, I didn't even know you was going to be live, Jose.
Actually, I just made a decision tonight, to be perfectly honest, because I was gonna wait until next week. But I said, you know what? Let me be the first one to talk about it. I mean,
a little side note. I want to ask you guys something. This has nothing to do with the topic. A little side note. Have you all tried these chips, the whole shebang? It's these real good potato chips called the whole shebang. Has anybody tried those?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't seen them. I haven't seen those.
Well, I know people have been making YouTube videos about them, and I was over in Sherrville, Indiana, and I seen them in a BP, and I picked those up, and those are some good chips, man. Those are some real seasoned, real good chips. Just a little.
I guess I'll have to go to Whole Foods to catch them.
No, you're not gonna find them at Whole Foods.
You know what I'm going to do around Christmas time? I'm going to eat some pasteles, with one with ranch dressing and the other one with
What the hell? Yeah, you're gonna have it with ketchup too? Are you gonna mix it up with ketchup too?
Not talking about
You don't
empanadas.
do that. That's nasty. That's nasty.
Talking about empanadas. You know what I find nasty? When they put raisins in empanadas.
I never had my empanadas with raisins. I've always had it with.
I would avoid that. I mean, that's like pizza with pieces of pineapple in it. Yeah, that's just.
What's wrong with that?
Hey, Ramon, my cousin. Like how back when we was growing up, everybody watched a lot of movies. My cousin, he always watched the damn Pulp Fiction, man. And one time I went over to his house. This was a few years ago, and he made me one of them Kahuna burgers. He was on the grill. Remember the Kahuna
Yeah,
burger?
because they mentioned that in Pulp Fiction, right? I've
Yeah.
seen it.
He added the pineapple on top. It was good. It was good.
Yeah, with pineapple.
I
Yeah,
mean, the first time I actually tasted pizza with pineapple was here in Philadelphia, and this is a restaurant named Boli's. I could
Mhm.
actually say it's not that bad.
Mm.
Well, as a kid, I used to eat peanut butter with pizza.
Oh Lord.
What?
Oh, hey, Jose.
No,
Not for nothing, Don Jose. You didn't go. Your parents didn't get mad at you after you destroyed the bathroom.
Let me
I'm just kidding with you.
Ramon.
Nah,
Yeah, he had like they was grilled burgers, and he had added like a barbecue sauce that was brushed on them and everything. So it's kind of like a barbecue charbroiled grilled burger with a pineapple. It went together real well.
Okay, if it worked for you, I guess that's fine.
Yeah, because he grilled the pineapples too. He grilled the pineapples. It was pretty good.
Hey, I got an idea. How about trying pizza with pineapple and peanut butter together?
No.
Well, you make a dirt pizza, Jose, because that's not going to go well with cheese and tomato sauce.
Now, you know what a person should try though? No cap. Oh, we might be eating it anyway, right?
Uh-huh.
I think that we should try some pizza with some broccoli and chicken with soy sauce. I think that would
Not
be
with
a
the soy
good time.
sauce. Not with the soy sauce. I mean, the veggie pizza, that's fine. I'll have that all day, but not with the soy sauce because that's linked to estrogen. I don't want something that is linked to an estrogen in my system. No thanks.
Now, I used to eat, the only thing soy sauce went on anything I was eating was fried rice. Other than that, I've never added soy sauce to anything.
Well-
I'll pass on that. I'll eat my chicken and broccoli on a plate. I don't need it on pizza though.
Well, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to take closing remarks. So we're gonna start with the lover of cold, who wants to eat pasteles with peanut butter and red dressing combined.
Okay, I'm already holding my stomach. Ew.
Who wants to go to Orchard Beach to swim and
Orchard Beach
water
stinks.
the water so blue that he might even be tempted to drink some of the water. Who wants to go in
Sugar water.
The only thing Pastelli should go with, Jose, is arroz gandules. Other than that, no ketchup.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Who wants to be buried in snow? Who don't think that we don't have a serious rat problem in New York? The introvert Boricua.
Oh, please, come on, Don Jose. You know that you have rats that fight people, and they kidnap dogs at Central Park, and they'll steal your pizza. I mean, those are mutants.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Those are not mutants, Ramon. Let's be serious.
Those are mutated rats.
No. They're not mutated rats. I'm just going to tell you who they really are, right? You know, those are Tekashi 6ix9ine's cousins, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So therefore, that's it. I don't call them rats no more. I just call them 6ix9ine cousins. That's it.
The Tekashis. Well, Jose, I appreciate you letting me be on your panel. This was a timely subject and discussion. But yeah, it's kind of like crazy what what the whole thing when it comes to in the kind of like the big picture of it, as I look at it, is the whole thing with the censorship, because this can only get worse if there is no control on it. That it can only get worse. So yeah, I don't have a problem with a consequence for certain actions, but I don't think that this guy should be completely shut down. I mean, I do believe in freedom of speech. In freedom of speech, the First Amendment and all, that's for speech specifically that we don't like, not for the speech that we do like. So I do believe that they should have a chance. They should have a chance to regroup and make a comeback eventually. Eventually, now that they're being limited when it comes to resources, their following, their subscriber base, they're gonna have to step up. They're gonna have to step up and help them out. Um, but Jose, I appreciate you letting me on your panel. This was a great topic, great discussion. And we'll see what happens with our girl Kishel tomorrow. And for the moment, that's all I got. That's all I got. Thanks for having me.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming to my cyber home. So
Hmm.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you in the backstage. Okay. Yeah. Now we're gonna hear from Don Armando. Your final thoughts.
This is my final thoughts about my gains and whatever that guy is. Don't really watch their show. Don't really care. But if somebody's trying to take away your rights, I say that it's harsh. And me and me and the friend was talking about it on how the United States is slowly or rapidly becoming a dictatorship. So with that said, stay safe, stay despot free, and don't forget, if anybody hates your opinion without facts, just take me for an example. Most of my haters don't shave or take a bath. So you really think I care what they say? No. So therefore, what you should do is march on. Because none of these guys would have the financial means to pay you anyway. With that, I'm out.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Don Armando, for your input. Now I'm gonna put you in the backstage. Okay. Now, Joaquin, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts is thank you for letting me up on your platform, Jose. I appreciate it once again, and I think they said everything that I'm going to say. I don't like Fresh and Fit. I'm not a fan. I'm not a supporter. But at the same time, I don't think freedom of speech should be tampered with. But it's a new day in YouTube, and the rules are being changed as people go along. If you pay close attention, they're finding ways to keep you from voicing your opinion or make you aware if you voice your opinion, it's going to be heavy consequences. So the people is what made YouTube, not the company, the people. So wherever the people go, and if the people decide that they're going to make that sacrifice to start over again and not really focus on the money and build up another platform, then that's where all of the action is going to be. And YouTube is going to plunder. So this looks like this is where it's going to be going. And people can learn from this and make sure that this don't happen again, whether it be 15 or 20 years from now, when the next social media platform is popping. So that's all I got to say. Thanks once again, Jose, for allowing me up.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Joaquin, for your input. We always appreciate it. So now I'm going to put you in the backstage. Now I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Look, it's I don't like Fresh and Fit. I mean, it is what it is. I do think if they're going to enforce the guidelines, it needs to be equitably enforced, not selectively enforced. I do believe people have a right to express themselves in the manner that they see fit, as long as they're not defending someone's character or bringing forth accusations. Okay. Um, this is something that I chose to talk about tonight. I was going to wait until next week, but you know what? Heck, I decided to do it tonight, and I'm sure other people are going to express their point of views in the coming days and weeks ahead. Okay, what's going to happen to them? We shall see. I just want to say a huge shout out to everyone that appeared on the chat. I really appreciate all the love and support, and I do appreciate everyone that appeared on the panel. So Monday will be the next time I'll be alive, and I'm going to be talking about the meeting regarding Labor Day. And the whole purpose is to honor the contributions of the working individual. Okay. So, of course, people look at the Labor Day as the unofficial end of summer, but it's more, there are more important elements to it other than just taking a holiday and what have you. But in any case, all of you are more than welcome to comment after the stream is done. Just let's keep it respectful, okay? And of course, I'm going to close with what I've said in the past, which is we must do everything possible to minimize our contact with the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. This has been a somewhat late version of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, and I wish all of you good night, take care, and peace.
Strong.